Hey there, goal friends. I'm Piper.
I'm Matt,
This is Two Goals, One Podcast, where we like to discuss all things current, classic, and obscure.
and today we watched Frankenhooker. My first viewing. Piper had seen it at least once before.
Yeah, I think maybe it was my third viewing, but it's just as good every time.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. A trauma movie, which I was unaware of until it started.
Yeah, until about 2 seconds in.
Yeah, when it said Lloyd Kaufman, I was like, oh Lord,
And he knew he was in for a good time after that.
for sure. I didn't know how
So,
good. There are varying degrees of trauma good times.
so just to give you a brief rundown, not to like bog you down with too many details, but Letterbox labels this as a terrifying tale of sluts and bolts. Fun.
Accurate.
Yeah, a medical school dropout loses his fiance in a tragic lawnmower incident and decides to bring her back to life. Unfortunately, he was only able to save her head. So he goes to the red light district in the city and lures, we're going to be PC here and say sex workers, full service sex workers, into a hotel room so he can collect body parts to reassemble her. Because girls are nothing if not exactly like cars, you know?
Yeah, that's why men love them. They like
Yeah.
detail them and wax them and show them off.
I mean, Jeffrey sure detailed them in in this movie. So, just a little bit of maybe interesting, maybe boring facts. It was made in 1990. It's fairly short because it only has a runtime of like 85 minutes. Did it
Yeah,
feel a full 85 minutes to you?
no, I'd say no. It, it was a breeze.
Yeah.
It took a little bit to get going.
Yeah. Honestly felt like it didn't have like the setup to everything takes longer than the actual like end result of the Frankenhooker, if you will.
Franken, full service sex worker.
Yes, we're PC here. Now, what I found interesting, and I don't know if like you clocked this, but the director's name is Frank. Like his first name's Frank. And I just
I didn't realize.
yeah, it's like Frank Henenlotter.
I know
It'd be funny if it was in Stein.
the Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I noticed the main character's last name was Franken.
Yeah, like a little nod.
Yeah, little on the nose, really.
Yeah, well, did you notice that Elizabeth's last name was Shelley?
I didn't.
Yeah. So,
Paying some homage there as well.
yeah, that's how you know it was made by true fans, you know?
Yeah,
So, what
this
did you think?
it's a good time. It's there's some plot details that I'm unsure about still,
For sure.
like the brain in the jar. Whatever happened with that?
Just lived happily ever after in the fish tank.
Hopefully, I feel like the fish just ate him though.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, Jeffrey seemed pretty busy Franken full service sex workering his girlfriend, so he probably forgot to feed the fish, and at some point they probably did just eat that brain.
Yeah. Um. I also don't understand the multiple trepanations that he was giving himself.
what do you mean by that?
Like drilling holes in his brain?
Yeah, I don't know because like there's a moment in the movie where he kind of consults this little diagram, I guess you'd say, where there's like numbers. So he's like numbered different parts of the brain. Uh, he just likes to give himself a little swirly durly in the brain. I don't know what to say there.
All right. New kink unlocked. Yeah, that was. I feel like that's part of a B plot that got cut.
Yeah. I mean, the movie's short, so I could foresee that maybe it was intended to be longer and then just it didn't pan out.
Yeah, it's 2.5 million was its budget,
Yeah.
and the only thing I can think of that would put it to that point are all the pyrotechnics required for the super crack exploding hookers.
Now, that's a sentence you don't hear every day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so
he
you go
he
ahead.
takes crack, regular crack, because they're crack full service sex workers,
Mm-hmm.
and uses his knowledge of the sciences to make super crack,
He Heisenberg's that shit for real.
and then he gives it to
It
his guinea pig, like literal guinea pig,
and
and
and also he's speaking very sexually to the guinea pig. Well, as he does so, it's weird.
yeah, yeah, he's got some issues. Um, I don't know how many he had before he started boring holes into his brain, but he definitely added some as the movie went on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I
the
think
guinea pig explodes, like literally explodes. And so he takes the super crack to the sex workers and they get their hands on it. And it was foreshadowed what would happen.
it was. We know what that super crack do.
So, what were you surprised about?
Did I say I was surprised about something?
You were about to say something along those lines.
It's gone.
Okay. Um, I don't know. That lawnmower scene at the start was hilarious.
Honestly, the lawnmower scene. So the boyfriend gave me vibes because he didn't try very hard to tell her. He was like, don't stand in front of the lawnmower. Like he wasn't like, move out of the way, get away from the lawnmower. There was no emotion, and it kind of felt like in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, when Willy Wonka is like telling the old bitch Veruca to like not mess with the golden eggs. And he's like, no, please don't. And it's like, the whole time he wants that little bitch to fall down that chute.
Yeah.
Uh, and I feel like, honestly, I feel like Jeffrey wanted her to. Did Jeffrey just murder her? Was that the plan the whole time?
I don't know why he'd go through all the effort of like preserving her head and bringing her back, though. I feel like that
Because
was
he,
bad acting.
well, maybe, but also they did have a pillow stuffed into her jumpsuit to imply that she were fat. So maybe he really liked her for like, he liked her personality but did not enjoy her like physique and was like, "Man, if I could just put her face on." You see it like after she dies. He has her face plastered onto like 4 or 5 different like nudie mag cutouts and it's like, "Bro, you just want her to look like a porn star or something." So maybe that was like his reasoning is like, oh, I really like her, but I would like her better if she were on a different body, you know? So he orchestrated this zany little scheme to get her his ideal body for her.
I don't even remember how the lawnmower got going.
She started it. She was it was like a present for her dad that Jeffrey had made, I think.
Oh,
I think he made it, or it was that, or it was like top of the line or something. So it was like a really fancy lawnmower. And she starts it up with a remote, and he's just like, "Oh, you gotta get out of the way." And it runs her over.
very slowly.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I could remember what Austin Powers movie it was, but you had mentioned it's like the scene from one of the Austin Powers movies where he's like
I believe
standing
it's
in
the
front of.
first one.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he's just like, no, and it's like it's halfway across the room from him, and he just stands there the entire time. And as does she. She's like, maybe she's thinking it'll like curve to the left a little, like Jeffrey's penis or something. Like,
You know, he could fix that. He is like a biologist or whatever.
he's way more invested in giving her nicer boobs.
Yeah, he was hung up on those. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, they were a big weight on his shoulders.
Well, they became that. They were a small weight on his shoulders, which
He
was the problem.
he wanted a much bigger weight.
Yes. Was that the same actress that played her and Franken?
It was, and it doesn't even look like it, right?
Right. I guess because her
Yeah,
face is constantly contorted into that stupid position.
yeah. Do not make that the thumbnail, dude. Do not make that I don't know why I did that.
Oh, you know, it's the thumbnail.
It will be. So
It has to be.
if you only listen, more encouragement to watch the video of this episode, I guess. Like,
You nailed it, though.
yeah.
You had
I
one
swear.
lip here and one lip here, and yep, that's what she did the
Yeah.
whole fucking movie.
Absolutely. Uh yeah, she just like I don't know. It is fun watching the sex workers get their hands on the super crack and then the antics that ensue afterwards.
That's one of my favorite scenes from any movie now.
I wanted to ask you what was your favorite like scene from the movie? Is it that one?
Yeah, just
For
paper
sure.
mache hookers exploding.
Yeah. Yeah, and they linger on it too long. Like I get it if it's like it's not like you can actually just explode people for your movie. But don't linger on the poorly made paper mache versions of these women. You need like a blink and you'll miss it type of thing. And they're like, nah, a good 3 second stare at this paper mache like creation is totally fine.
Like a few of them did look alright, but that one that was doggy style, as you said, That one was bad.
It was severely bad, yes.
And her head, like the severed head, that was awful too. That was
The
clearly a mannequin.
Yeah, are you talking about the severed head of the girlfriend?
Yeah,
I thought you maybe for a second might have been talking about, I'm just gonna call her the head sex worker. Oh, that sounds different than the lead sex worker.
there you go.
Uh, yeah, she there's a moment where like after she explodes, her head goes like spinning through the air and directly hits the pimp Zorro's like hits him in the head and knocks him out. And
Good
I
old
thought you might have
Zorro.
meant her head. Yeah.
No, that one looked bad too, but I think it's where they show the girlfriend so frequently and like he's just carrying it around for a little bit, like putting it on the table and talking to it.
Having a date with it.
And then we get close ups of it, which is
Mm-hmm.
not smart when you have something that cheaply made.
Yeah. Should have at least had like low like candlelight or something. Like
Yeah,
work with what you got, man. Like
like that just fell apart when any sort of light lingered on it.
absolutely. Fell apart like some poorly made paper mache.
They did explode the shit out of some mannequin slash paper mache things, though. That was
Yes, I did.
awesome.
You know what was odd? Because there's one explosion in the movie that is different from all the other explosions.
Oh yeah, they made that shit on a video toaster or something.
Yeah, I wonder why they decided to go a different route with literally just one explosion.
Well, it looked awful. Like it looked as bad as the paper mache thing.
Hmm.
So I feel like they ran out of money
Yeah, that would
and
make
they
sense.
they just used the cheapest, quickest way to add that explosion as they could find.
Yeah, that adds up.
Because $2.5 million in mannequins and pyrotechnics to blow up the mannequins.
I
Like
imagine that would have to be like a one-shot take too, because it would take so long to make the paper mache women that you can't redo that. Like they just had to do the one shot kind of thing.
yeah, that's probably why a lot of it looks like shit. Is they didn't have a second take.
I mean, but you can always edit and trim it down, so I really don't understand why they lingered on it as long as they did.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. One thing I really enjoyed is so like after the explosion of the sex workers, uh, he takes all of the parts. Like, never mind the fact that dude spent like 30 minutes measuring out every part of every one of these. Like, there was at least six there, I would say, six of them. And he measures every body part, like the length of the arms, the like width of the thighs, and what have you. And then just ends up stuffing it all into bags anyways, into big trash bags. So like then he goes home and he organizes them by body part, which is fine. Probably good to be organized, but the whole time he's complaining about how he doesn't have any time to waste. He's like, "Oh, I gotta hurry." And it's like, "Dude, then why did you spend so much time organizing all of these body parts?" He's got like, I don't want to steal your joke, so if you want to use it or I can
No,
repeat
go
it.
for it.
All right. So he's got like bins of legs over here. He's got a table with like a platter of titties. Uh And by the way, every one of them looked the same. They couldn't even spring for like different boobs, you
Yeah.
know? Like there's definitely a black woman in there. I didn't see a single set of black titties though. Like I don't understand. There was no difference in like areolas. There was no difference in size, nipple placement. It was the same titty just over and over again on this platter.
Yeah. No, no titty variations.
Yeah, we want titty variety.
And most of the time, the two titties don't even match on the same person. So,
Yeah,
kind of ridiculous.
for sure it is. For sure. Uh, I don't know, the whole movie is just like it's silly, it's fun, not scary at all. It's one of the it's one of those
I don't know. I
situations where
have a
like
fear of lawnmowers now.
Lawnmower Man didn't do that for you already?
That gave me other fears.
So I have to include uh it's Cinema Void who left this hilarious letterbox review, and I already told it to you, Matt, but I'll tell it to the listeners. It says Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was one crack whore. We don't like that. One crack full service sex worker away from becoming a feminist masterpiece.
I feel like crack whore, though, for that joke has more of a punch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Should I read it again with the crack whore?
No, I don't think that's necessary. They get it.
Yeah.
Um, what a twist ending here. Zorro just runs in and decapitates the protagonist.
Yeah. Because you know what? Say what you will about him, but Zorro is an attentive pimp. He knew that those body parts belonged to his women. He spent a lot of time searching for them, tracking them down. Man was on it.
Yeah, he was solid pimp.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess other than the fact that all of
He
his,
was.
you know, employees exploded on his watch.
Yeah. But that happens to the best of us.
So I don't know what his plan was though, because like he he brought the crack, right? The super crack.
Okay, yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, he
Okay.
had it on him, and he was assessing the women,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got the super crack, and he didn't want them to.
He had a change of conscience.
Was that it?
Yeah, yeah. I think there was a point in the movie where he was like, "Oh, I can't do this," which we talked through most of it. So like, totally fair that you didn't catch that.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I thought maybe he had a different plan for the super crack. Like maybe he wanted just like these three to explode.
Right? Like he found the best parts on like three of them, and he's like, ah, they've earned the super crack. These other three uggos better get the hell out of my hotel room.
Yeah, fours, get out of here.
Yeah, four and
Um,
below, get the hell out.
but if you're trying to preserve body parts, using a means to kill them that results in explosion.
For sure.
Like, did he drill that part of his brain? Because that doesn't seem smart.
No, definitely not the smartest plan. because I don't know, lucky for him, everything blew up into just limb parts. Like it really just saved him the sawing at the limbs and such. So maybe in making of the super crack, he also added in some sort of something that causes them to explode into proportions that are, you know, like beneficial to him because it wasn't like oh half of a leg like split down the middle like
Yeah.
hot dog style or something. Like, nope, just right where it needs to be, just cut in half perfectly.
Where did he get the body though? They all
Well,
exploded at the body, like at the torso.
yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't, it like, none of the movie really makes sense.
Yeah, not really.
Easily the loosest adaptation of any Frankenstein movie.
Hey, that's slut shaming.
Oh, yes, puns.
It's definitely not accurate though.
No, in no way.
It, it's more accurate than Frankenstein's army though, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Frankenstein's army plays on like a twist of uh like if Frankenstein like Dr. Frankenstein were allowed to have like unbridled access to all of these uh bodies and stuff and was perhaps a little more mad than he originally is in the book. I don't know. I feel like I could see Frankenstein's army being more realistic of an adaptation than Frankenhooker.
I mean, I
Maybe
guess
the viewers will or like listeners will leave their opinion on which one is the better adaptation or like more accurate.
yeah, I see your point. Um, but I haven't read Frankenstein. I've only seen several adaptations.
Mhm.
He always seems like he has good intentions. He's just trying to cheat death.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, I think Frankenstein's army is more of a loose adaptation. But isn't he like
That's
descended from Frankenstein? Like he's a Frankenstein, but he's not Victor von Frankenstein?
in which movie?
Frankenstein's army.
Um
Because there's like the Frankenstein family crest and like
yeah, I don't think they show too much of that to determine it, and they don't really specify his exact name, but it very well could be the case.
you know what? He goes on
Hmm.
about his dad and stuff. I bet that's supposed to be Victor von Frankenstein.
Well, but his dad thought, like, wanted him to be locked up for the stuff he was doing. Like, his dad didn't agree with it at all.
Yeah, because he was like at heart a good dude that just made a monster.
Okay, I see what you mean. So, like, maybe his dad was the original, like, Victor Frankenstein and was like, well, I'm doing it for a noteworthy cause. Whereas my son is kind of bastardizing the whole thing and creating these, like, abominations intentionally and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. I'll say in agreement with you um that Frankenstein just centers around like one creation and Frankenstein's army has a fucking army. So
yeah.
like yeah,
This has multiple creatures too. Frankenhooker does.
that's true. You don't see them until the end, but they are there.
Yeah, there's three extra
Mhm.
that just kind of congeal together in a freezer.
Yeah. Very, kind of a body horror moment, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a body horror moment.
I would classify it as body horror anytime that there's a mouth where a vagina should be.
Teeth. So
And
I think you had told me, would you like to tell the ghoul friends what your ranking will be for like your letterbox rating?
oh, I gave it 3.5 stars,
And I
which
actually, despite having seen it before, I hadn't ranked it. And I agree with you. I gave it 3.5.
and Kit Laser gave it 3.5 too. I noticed.
I don't guess I know who that is.
Oh, he's like a huge movie talk guy,
Oh yeah.
like 1.2 million followers, I guess.
Oh well, look at me not knowing shit.
But yeah, so we all agreed 3.5 stars.
Which I don't know. Maybe Rachel would give it a 5 star.
Yeah. She'd be like, can I have a sixth just this one time?
And Patrick would give it a 3 and call that above average.
He wouldn't give this a three. He'd give it a
No,
2.5.
because he'd consider it average.
Yep. Give Final Destination 2.5.
The man don't know how to rank movies. He can make 'em, but he
Yes.
can't rank 'em.
Yep. I wonder what he gives The Path.
A solid 2.5.
He would. He fucking would.
He's the type of guy he'd give himself like a 2 on that. He's so self-deprecating.
Yeah. Be like, this could have been better, and this could have been better. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Patrick, if you're listening to this, shut the fuck up. You made a good
Yeah.
movie.
So, if you're wondering, because you probably definitely were, we have started a Patreon and we recorded a little commentary slash watch along where you get to experience Matt experiencing the movie for the first time. Uh, I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun time to like do the commentary watch along thing.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that'll be available on our Patreon. And it's still in the like works as far as what all we are going to include and tiers and such, but we know we're going to continue to do the commentaries. It's almost would you kind of describe it as like a mystery science theater type thing?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like other commentaries, like if we're a little more familiar, because I'd never seen this one and you had seen it, like you said, maybe twice a while ago.
Yeah.
I feel like if we watch something we're more familiar with, we'd be more like less riffing on it and more like, so here's something I know about the behind the scenes of this, and here's my opinion on what this scene means and stuff. But
Mhm.
with Frankenhooker, it's basically an MST3K episode, yes.
Yeah. Which I think I included like a fact or two in there. Uh but yeah, not something that like I'm giving super in-depth behind the scenes commentary like you would find on like a DVD extras or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can check that out on the Patreon. I think it was a fun time. I think you'll enjoy listening to us kind of like just make fun of it. You can start the movie, which is available. Like Frankenhooker is available to stream for free everywhere.
Yeah.
So
We
it,
we did it on Amazon, and then it threw a commercial break in there. So
yeah.
you might have to finagle around a little bit if you also get a commercial break.
Yeah, but you can watch it with us and hear our commentary on it and what we think of it, especially what Matt thinks of it on his first watch. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. Would you, because I know you are a fan of like trauma. Would you say you're a trauma fan?
Yeah, I'm not like an expert by any means, but I've seen probably 15 to 20 trauma
I'm
movies.
I'm no expert, but I have seen 4,000 of these movies. Where, like, do you have any idea where you would rank Frankenhooker? Like a rough estimate?
Uh, there's a lot I can think of offhand that I like more, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not a knock on Frankenhooker.
Yeah. Well, it's just that your favorite ones are probably going to come to mind first, and so would you say it's pretty low or maybe just in the middle somewhere?
High middle, like,
Okay. Like some high-waisted jeans.
yeah, I'd say, let's say if I've seen 20, it's probably ninth.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Because Citizen Toxie's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic Avenger beats it. Sergeant Kabuki Man beats it. Tromeo and Juliet. Class of Nukem High. I think Cannibal the Musical is Trauma. I'm not 1,000% sure on that though. It's like
Okay.
90%. Um, so yeah, and then I'm probably forgetting a couple. So from 9 to 7.
I think that's still pretty good score.
Yeah, it's it takes a little bit to get going. It's random as fuck when it starts, but still, like once the weird novelty wears off, it takes a bit to kick back in. But when
Yeah.
hookers are exploding, then I'm having a good time.
Yeah, how can you not enjoy a movie where hookers are exploding from super crack?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous sentence.
In a ridiculous movie. All right, well, I think that's going to be all for us today. Do you have any final words?
Uh, no, just Frankenhooker's a good time. You should give it a shot. Maybe have a few drinks. Get some
There's a
friends.
Imagine making a drinking game out of it where it's like every time she makes like one of her faces, you drink
Oh
and
God,
yeah, every time you hear you looking for a good time, you take a drink like
anytime you
every
see a
time you
tit,
see yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Anytime you see titties, you take a drink.
you would die because there's a table full.
Yeah, and a whole scene of topless hookers.
Yep, you would just die if that was how you were playing it.
We should do a whole thing where we just come up with like drinking games for people that involve like horror movies.
Yeah, but like safe ones.
Yeah. Can't
Not
have
like
people
anytime
getting
there's a plot hole, take a drink.
can't have people getting alcohol poisoning on us.
Yeah, we'll get sued.
For sure.
And then we might lose a Patreon and we won't have that income.
Which I'm sure will bring us in a lot of income because there's good stuff over there and you're gonna want to join.
Yes.
Okay. You feel like sending us out?
Yeah. Fuck off.
Don't get.